lifestyle has caught fire, and we talk about the rewards and challenges of it. This is the Wandering Worker Podcast with Matt Lloyd.
Yes, I am Matt Lloyd, host of the Wandering Worker Podcast. Believe it or not, when everything started, everyone started working remotely at scale a few years back, Magic Apple embraced it fully. So if you have questions or topics that can be discussed, hit us up at thewanderingworkerpodcast.com. This show, as always, is sponsored by Magic Apple Technology, where we have been saving good businesses from bad phone systems since 2008. Today, our special guest is Billy the Kid, Logan Anderson, one of our young guns here at Magic Apple. And how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah,
it's my first podcast, so pretty excited.
Is this your first
it.
podcast? Well, yep. It's my second, so there you go.
Nice.
Third, I guess now. What I want to talk a little bit today is just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do at Magic Apple, and then talk a little bit about what it means to you to be able to work remotely and to be able to not have to be tied to a cubicle or a desk or whatever, to have that freedom to kind of be where you want to be and still work. So if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so originally I'm from Northern Illinois, Rockford to be specific, and kind of moved around the Chicago area a little bit. So I was still kind of trying to find myself, and I had a good opportunity to come down to Nashville, and I decided to jump ship, move down to Nashville, met a lot of friends here, and started just expanding my reach a little bit, and it's been a bit of a journey to get here. But part of that journey that started it is right when the pandemic happened. Mm-hmm. I was basically working in the office, and they said, "Hey, we're shutting our doors. We're going to try."
That was not at Magic Apple. That was prior to.
Yeah, that was prior to Magic Apple. That was with another company where I was a project manager, and it's a great company, but the problem is they weren't ready for remote work. So when they sent everyone to go work from home, work remotely, it was great for me. But the accounting department, the marketing team, they were kind of just not really all there yet. And basically they said, "Hey, we just can't handle this. We're just closing our doors for the pandemic," and just lost my job, which it sucked. It sucked not to work, but then I started getting paychecks on unemployment for more than I was making. So I thought, oh, well, maybe it doesn't suck this bad.
Okay.
But it was something where I was kind of had a headspace of, all right, well, I got to do something. I don't want to just sit here, play video games, and watch Netflix. So
sounds pretty fun, though, honestly.
I mean, it was fun for a little bit, but it was something where I started going to a bunch of the different national parks. I found a love for nature. It was something where I just kept on exploring, and I started talking to other people that are doing this, and they were saying, "Yeah, I'm doing my business still. We're doing it remotely," and a handful of them were kind of talking about how they do photography, they do marketing, they do accounting, and I was kind of confused because I thought, okay, well, when everything got shut down, I thought everything shut down, but they said, no, we're still able to work. We got our laptop. That's all we really need. And then when I moved down here, jump forward a little bit, it was something where I still had that work-life balance of, all right, if I want to visit some family, do something like that, I don't have to just say, hey, got to close the doors, can't do anything, got to stay in Nashville, got to stay at the office, got to stay to one strict location.
Yeah.
It's something where you can travel, you can get your work done, and it gives you that freedom of, I'm not just stuck in one location. Mm-hmm. I have my own personal life, but I can also work with my business life as well. Yeah. So if there's, an extended trip or a family event and you got to go, well, you got to have that option to, I want to work while I'm traveling or while I'm working remote.
Yeah. So, and I think, do you feel like you're less or more productive by being able to just work whenever and wherever you are?
100% more productive. If it's something where I used to have a 45-minute travel time to work, and now it's only, I think it's down to 20, 30 minutes, but Nashville traffic, you never really know.
Yeah,
it might rain one day and the next thing is an hour, but it's just something where if I got to hop on my laptop really quick or send an email or hop on the website, whatever it is, I can do that wherever. Yeah. Versus, and there are just different fields. If you're a doctor, obviously you got to be in the hospital, but for a majority of people, they can do their work remotely. And it's something where, AI is a brand new tool, and it's something where we got to work with AI in the future, but now is the future.
Yeah. So it's here.
Yeah.
So you got to figure it out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes total sense. Makes total sense. So when you moved down here to Nashville and you started, once that job happened with that company having to shut its doors because they weren't prepared, what was some of the things that you noticed that what made them not be prepared? Was it, did they not have the tools in place to be able to be remote, or what, was it just a mindset? What did you think it was from your experience?
From my experience, it was a combination of it all hit everyone at once.
Yeah.
Lack of demand also kind of put them at ease. So that was another key factor, but it was just something where they had a virtual a VPN which lets you work somewhat remote.
Yeah.
But there wasn't any any hierarchy for remote work. Mm-hmm. Hey, contact this person, contact this. It's always
there were no processes, no procedures in place. It was literally like, we have to be remote now. We'll do our best.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just kind of figure it out.
And we noticed that a lot when COVID hit and people had to go home, and they were calling us going, help. Luckily for our clients, if they were already hosted, it was super easy to be. If they're already on a cloud-based system, it was like 5 minutes and they were done. They're ready to rock and roll. If they weren't, if they were still on premise-based or something else where, it was a little bit more of a problem, a little bit harder to deal with. So right now currently, when you were looking, how important, after that job ended, how important was it for you to find something? Like, I know I've talked to a lot of other, people your age. I've done a lot of work with a program at MTSU, and I've talked to all these young, kids that are fixing to graduate college. You're around that same age as them, maybe a little bit older. But they all have like this idea that they need a few things to be important in life, right? They need purpose. They want to feel like they're helping somebody in what they do. They don't want to feel like somebody out there money grubbing or whatever. They want to feel like they have purpose. They want to feel like they still have a life, so they need that balance and that freedom. And they want to be able to work remotely. And not only just remotely from your house, but remotely from an RV on the road or whatever, and not have to feel like they're doing something wrong to do that. Does that ring to you? Does that sound like what you were looking for?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something where I don't know how to say it, but I talked to a handful of older people. We'll call them wise elders. And it seemed like their generation was just get it done. Like whatever it takes, just get it done. Mm-hmm. I don't care if it's 5 a.m. in the morning or if it's a snowstorm, whatever.
We don't care about your life.
Yeah.
It's about what we're paying you to do this job, do that job.
Exactly. And there's a lot of people that burn out from that.
Oh yeah.
And it's, whatever type of depression rates, just crazy, anxiety rates. It's something where there's so much more problems nowadays that are heard of versus the just bottled up, shut up, get to work type of thing. And it's something where with my generation, especially, we know that's a big problem now, and we don't want to just avoid it at all costs. We want to address it and get better. And with the mental health especially, it's something where in order to avoid that burnout, you got to go on a trip. You got to, express yourself. But you also don't want to spend months on end of just, hey, I'm on vacation mode. Yeah. You want to find some hybrid model. So in order for having that hybrid model, in my opinion, it's a must to have remote work.
Yeah.
Because if I want to say, even like a 4-day extended trip, maybe I'll just work from the airport that day.
Yeah.
Versus, or even take PTO. But it's just something where if I have that option to take an RV or go on a plane, go to Denver, climb the mountains and still work during the day.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
It's not all about the company anymore. Now we're seeing that the people are more of a person, and you got to have that financial health, physical health, mental health, business health. There's just a bunch of different types of health.
You talked about something that's a really good point that we haven't really talked about yet on the show, is that it's also a mental health benefit, right? Tell me a little bit more about that.
I think the biggest thing with the mental health, and this just might be with the different eras, but it's something with the mental health. People know when they're getting burnt out, and they know when the job doesn't care about them. They know when it's just another number. And not all corporate entities are like that, where it's just another number, but quite a bit of them are. And even if it's something where this is just a job to you, or this is just a paycheck, to have that idea of this is something where they're going to take care of me, I might want to take care of them a little bit more. It's something where if they're going to give me that option to, we'll say, my dog's sick or something like that. Work from home that day, work remote, take care of the dog, and then, come in the next day or something like that. That's going to go quite a bit for me. I'm going to think, okay, they actually care. It might not just be something where the company cares about me. How much do they care? And then even having programs in place for mental health, having different check-ins, make sure everyone's all good. But it's just something where if you need a vacation, like this was a nice little vacation for me this past weekend, which I feel reset, I feel great, feel rejuvenated. But it's just something where it's not really talked about that much.
Yeah. So it's almost like it's the idea of being remote's one thing. That's one thing. But then you need to have a cultural fit to that as well, right?
Yeah.
So it's the idea of, yes, we allow remote work. We're going to give you the tools. And hey, we've built our culture around the idea that remote work is good and it's acceptable and it's what we want you to do, right? And it's encouraged. It's not just allowed, but it's encouraged. We want you to work from home. We want you to have a life, outside and inside of Magic Apple or whatever business it is that you're working for. Tell me a little bit more about your current situation of what you're doing at Magic Apple. What do you do for Magic Apple right now?
Yeah. So right now,
I know what you do, but just tell that.
Yeah. I'm an account executive, which basically means I'm a sales representative. So I help different customers, different people, clients, whatever we want to call it. I help them with their business, with getting a better understanding of what the phone system actually is. Because a lot of people think, oh, it's just a phone. I just pick up, make a call, good to go. Yeah. I can do that from my cell phone. Why do I need a business phone? But there's a lot more that goes into place with, all right, how am I going to get a fax, or how am I going to get a text, or how am I going to get this communication to another person? Okay, well, let's multiply this another time. What if I have 10 calls coming in and I don't know what to do with all of them? Is there an auto attendant? Is there a call in place? If I miss a call, what do I do?
That's another great point. If you're just doing off your cell phone the whole time, then it gets a little confusing as to who's calling and what's going on there, right?
Yeah, it can be definitely overwhelming for a lot of people. So my main thing is just consult with them, get an understanding of what their business actually needs, and then help them through that process. Yeah. Because that's ultimately what we are. We're just helping people through their process, helping them grow their businesses, and then helping them make sure that they truly understand why they need a phone system.
Yeah. So like when you're out and you're doing your job and you're talking to people and you're sitting down with them and discussing with them about what's going on and everything, what are you noticing as far as the main driver for why people are wanting to, upgrade their tools and that kind of stuff? Is it to be able to accommodate remote workers?
I would say yes and no. A good majority of it is accommodating remote workers. You always have that slight amount that's just, it's old. It just needs
it's
to be
just
replaced.
replacing technology. Yeah. I get that. Yeah.
I mean, I just had a call today where half the phones are older than me. Yeah. And I'm in my 20s, so that kind of goes to show how some of those older phone systems are.
Yeah, and that doesn't actually that's a testament to the way they used to be made. They're not made that way anymore. They don't last 20 years anymore.
No, those ones are just built different. But it's definitely something where, you have a new iPhone or new Android. Within 3 years, you get the brand new one out, and it's you got to stay with the systems. You got to stay with the market. Yeah. So it's definitely something that's very cool to work with.
Yeah. If you could give one piece of advice to a business owner that is looking at allowing his team and encouraging his team to be remote and to have that better balance in work and life, what would you give him?
For me personally, I would say, if you're a business owner that truly cares about the employees and you truly care about how they explore their work life and their personal life, you got to have remote, but you also have to give them that freedom of having the phone with them, but not having to have it on them, if that makes sense. Because I used to have a company where I have to carry 2 phones. It was an old, bulky business phone, and then it was my own personal phone. And every single time I'd go get a call, I had to take both phones out of my pocket, figure out which one it was. And, the other phone had an OtterBox, so it was like carrying a brick at me at all times. Yeah. And it just wasn't good. And now having the option to have that all on one phone is phenomenal. Not to mention having that on my laptop. So say I'm on the road and I want to go hiking in the woods one day. It might be a weekend trip, but during the days I can go to a KOA, I can go to Campgrounds of America, I can go to a truck stop that has Wi-Fi.
Yeah, the place got Wi-Fi and sit down and do some work.
And even if I'm going to Starbucks, I can do my entire day's work from there, get everything done, make sure everything's all happy, everything's good to go, and then keep on hiking.
And then be able to see that sunset you want to see, right?
Yeah, see the beautiful sunset on the horizon, or even visit some family. Just whatever it is, you got to have that option where it just shows that you care.
Yeah, because I think when you really think about it, a lot of times your work life, when you have to go to the office and you're having to make those trips and commute and all that, it does interfere with your personal life, because that's an hour or two that you're not getting paid for, and you have to do it because you got to go into, right? So it makes total sense. Logan, tell everybody how they can reach you.
Yeah, so if you need, you can reach me at Magic Apple's website. I'm also available for call, email, whatever have you. But if you need to call me, my number is 615-988-9006. And I'll schedule a meeting with you, schedule appointments.
What's your email?
My email is logan@magicappletech.com. That's LOGAN at magicappletech, TECH.
Yeah, there you go.
.com. Had to think about that for a second.
Good deal. Well, listen, Logan, I appreciate you being on the show today. This has been super. Did you enjoy it?
Oh, this is awesome.
Was
I
it
want to
fun?
do this again.
Yeah, okay. We'll do it again. We'll definitely have you back and do it again. So listen, thank you again for being on the show, Logan. This has been another episode of the Wandering Worker Podcast. You can find us on all the socials, or check us out at the wanderingworkerpodcast.com. Also, please check us out at magicapple.com to learn more about all the tools and what we can do to help you if you want to take that step and have a remote workforce. So thank you again, and we'll see you guys next time.